Connie, listening along with us and watching Todd Inman is Bob Benzon. He's a former NTSB investigator, and he is joining us live on the phone. Bob, can you hear us okay?
Go ahead.
So we'd like to spend some time here, since we're on our live stream, going through what Todd Inman said. You heard a lot of it. First and foremost, what comes to the top of your mind as a former investigator?
Oh, well, I think in short, the NTSB and the FAA and all the other parties have their work cut out for them. This is a major event and they're very infrequent. So those folks are going to be pecking and poking here for a long while, perhaps a year and a half.
How long do you expect them to be on the ground here in Louisville? The disaster zone here stretches about a half-mile long.
Yes, that's going to be a bit of an issue. It depends on how thoroughly everything is looked at, of course, and they will do that. I suspect that they probably will be on scene for 5 or 6 days, perhaps a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But it's imperative, of course, to not let anything slip out of the way this early in the investigation.
And can you expand on that when you say to let anything slip out of the way? Are you talking about some of those questions about the maintenance that was done, things like that?
Well, the maintenance aspect is kind of trapped data. But what I'm not worried about, but what I'm talking about is perishable evidence, things that will go away forever once the team goes back to Washington. Evidence on the ground, evidence within the wreckage itself before it's moved a lot. So you have to trap a lot of this data early on before it simply goes away.
Right.
Well, Bob, I'd like to go over some information that Todd Inman gave yesterday. Maybe we can pick your mind based on the years that you investigated crashes on some early theories that you may have. If you're not comfortable with that, I certainly understand, but I do want to give you some facts that he said, that this flight, after being cleared, the large fire occurred in the left engine during the takeoff roll. These are his words. There was enough altitude to clear the fence. It then hit a building off the property, then crashed, leaving a debris field a half-mile long. The left engine fell off during the takeoff roll down the runway. So it was immediate, as he is saying. As soon as they were cleared for takeoff, this jet engine fire began. Do you have any, can you give us any clarity on that, on how that could have possibly happened?
Oh boy, speculation is always a dangerous road to hoe, but if something occurs so early in the takeoff roll, it's imperative to check things out. I mean, that's when the engines are at their near maximum thrust during the takeoff roll. So they're under the biggest stress, if you will, for the entire flight, frankly. It struck me as interesting that looking at that engine photograph on the side of the runway, the front section, the fan blades and the compressor section itself seem to be kind of missing. So I would think that would be very interesting to look at. Other than that, it's probably too early to really speculate beyond anything near to that, because obviously they have good video on the darn thing. That's amazing, and that will help. But again, I think the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, once they're read out, will answer a lot of questions.
We're showing some of the first aerial video we have there, and you can see the debris field right in the middle of your screen right now. If you're joining us with us, the airport is toward the top of your screen. You can't see it at the moment. There's the large warehouse building that the jet struck when it came down. So right toward the middle of your screen, before you see all the green there, Connie, that would be the grade lane area where the jet came to rest.
Bob, can you talk about these FOD walks and how important they are? I mean, they said that worked out well as they were able to recover engine fan blades and the #1 engine on runway, on the 17 right runway today during the FOD walk, or as it's been conducted?
Ma'am, is that for me, Mr. Benzon?
Yes. Yes. So the FOD stands for what is it? Foreign object, I believe.
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, it's called foreign object damage or foreign object debris, and it's imperative to walk the runway and even the rest of the wreckage scatter pattern, the wreckage path, to determine if anything fell off that should not have fallen off. And apparently, there were first stage fan blades located on the runway, so they had to be the first things liberated from the aircraft, so to speak. And they will become a very large interest in this investigation.
Bob, let's go over the black boxes, both of them that were recovered, including the cockpit voice recorder, one of the two. NTSB put out a photograph of them today. There they are. We're showing them on the screen now. You may have seen them on their X account. They look, to our eye, pretty good, considering the fireball that ensued with that flight. Had been fully fueled before it took off for Honolulu. Give me your thoughts on their recovery as they are and the information that has come out of them so far.
Yeah, flight data recorders, both the CVR and the FDR, are very, very sturdy objects. They I don't remember the exact numbers, but they can handle hundreds of G-forces a long time in a burning fire because of their armor devices inside. And so the recording portion of the FDR and the CVR recording portions are very well protected. And so I assume that the readouts will be very thorough, and they're going to have a lot to look at. 2 hours of cockpit voice is a long, long time to analyze. And of course, 400 parameters plus, 400 plus, will take a long time to dig through, but it's all there. It should be all there, and it should be very, very valuable.
And 63 hours on the flight data recorder, which is pretty remarkable. 24 flights with the crash flight included.
Yes, and again, that kind of indicates how long this investigation may take. I assume most of that data, 63 hours or whatever, will be examined. And with 400 parameters to look at, well, that's a huge amount of data. And that's good. That's good.
Bob, another question I had, we've learned, and it's been reported by our network, ABC, and we have also confirmed that this was going to be the third flight of the day for this flight as it was leaving Louisville. Which could, obviously, if you look at it just as an obvious observation here, the other two flights had no problem. So is there anything you can read into that?
No, I'm afraid not, because airlines don't make any money if they're sitting on the ground. So the airlines like to use them, and so their 3 flights in one day is frankly routine.
Okay. How about some of the flight data information that Todd Inman gave us today? Interested in your thoughts on the altitude, 475 feet. That translates to about a 40-story building. In fact, one of the tallest buildings in downtown Louisville, the Black Tower, PNC Tower, is exactly 40 stories. 183 knots. That seems to be the equivalent that I looked it up at 210 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm. Well, the airspeed looks, fine. I mean, the aircraft will fly all day at that airspeed. The altitude, though, and the timing of the entire affair just led me to believe that the flight crew did not have a lot of time to try to remedy the situation, if they could at all. It was just a tragically sparse amount of time.
So they immediately, and this is standard procedure, they got the flight data recorders immediately to Washington. They were sent last night, overnight. So describe, you may have even been involved in this process. Describe to us what's going through right now, and what's the first thing that they're going to Can they go try to search to a certain point? Do they go right to this particular crash flight, or are they also going to the entire history from the beginning?
Well, I believe it would amount to the makeup of the team itself and what they actually want to do. There's no real protocol, at least in my day, there was no real protocol for that. Now, the cockpit voice recorder is 2 hours worth. I imagine they would go from the get-go, from when it started and until it stopped during the crash. Flight data recorder is another issue. I don't know. It may be a good idea just to kind of go to the last 30 minutes of the thing to check things out, and then later on, when things kind of settle down, they can go backwards in time to examine the rest of the data. But again, it's imperative to not go too fast, but you can't go too slow on one of these things either, because there may be a fleet-wide issue that needs to be addressed immediately. So, in a sense, you have to be careful, but be cognizant of the fact that there's other aircraft out there that may have the same problem.
And Bob, we're taking a look at some new drone video that we have of this debris field, unfortunately, that we are seeing here. And I want to ask you about, one of the reporters had asked the NTSB about, I'm sure you heard it, the MD-11s in general and the age of this aircraft. What are your thoughts about these types of questions? Is this an aircraft that is concerning?
Well, I don't think the age matters too much, because the aircraft would have gone through many different checks. In fact, I think this last long one is called a D-check, which is a virtual teardown of the aircraft and reassembly. The MD-11 and the DC-10, well, I'm not quite sure how to put this. It's got an interesting history. I happen to have done 2 or 3 of these MD-11 or DC-10 accidents, and it has its issues. They're, in certain aspects, they're quite difficult to land. But in this particular case, that would not apply. So again, the aircraft has an interesting history, but again, it's a safe aircraft. It's just got some issues.
Bob, would you think we'd get maybe the preliminary results in about 30 days from now?
Yeah, that's interesting. In my day, there was no preliminary report, but lately, by convention, within about 30 days, they'll come out with a pretty darn thorough interim report. And after that, then they kind of back up a bit and wait for perhaps a public hearing down the line. And then, of course, the final report will come out within perhaps a year and a half.
Okay, Bob Benzon, former NTSB investigator, we thank you so much for giving us your perspective, listening to the 3 p.m. news conference. Again, as we're continuing our coverage here of the really first full day of investigation by the NTSB.